this property is, we probably have already overdone it. My only professional baseball playing friend. Oh! Welcome to in Santan Valley. I'm gonna answer some questions for you guys that I always wondered when I first started. Number one, where did this deal come from? Why did I buy it? How is it gonna make me money? How could you do a deal like this? That's what this video is gonna be all about. So let's start with number one. What is this house? How did I acquire it? This house came from one of my students, Munif Saza. Unbelievable. Look him up. We'll give a link to his description, like his YouTube video or his YouTube channel down below. Love Munif. He sold this deal to me. I think he made $15,000 on the assignment on this. And you're gonna start thinking, where did that $15,000 come from? I'll get to that. I'll whiteboard out. Actually, we brought a marker, so we're gonna marker this out for you here in the garage in just a couple of minutes. Where did the deal come from? A wholesaler brought it to Munif and said, I don't know how to solve this problem. This seller has no equity. Okay, how did the wholesaler get a hold of it? Well, the wholesaler saw that an agent had it listed on the MLS for over 100 days and they were having a hard time selling it. As you can see, the seller has already moved out of the property and they took a job. So these are the questions I wish I knew when I first started out. Okay, so why did the seller sell the property through subject to? This is a subject to deal where I took over the payments, and I'll break down the numbers for you on the inside of the property when we go inside. The air conditioning is still on. I'm using the seller's power right now. It's great because it's gonna be 100 degrees today. Why did the seller sell the house? They sold the house to us on subject to for two reasons. Number one, they had no equity, okay? Number two, they had a job offer. This is happening a lot. People are moving to different states and taking job offers. So the seller goes and hires an agent. Okay, the agent goes and puts the house on the MLS, and the house was on the MLS for over 100 days, and a wholesaler comes along and says, oh wow, they must be having a hard time selling the property. Wholesaler offers a lowball cash offer. And guess what, guys? If you are a wholesaler and the only thing you have is a lowball cash offer, you are gonna lose out to people like me. Because I don't really use lowball cash offers that often. When I first started, I did, but now I'm in a phase of just acquiring and holding these properties. This property will go in my rental portfolio. So wholesaler reaches out to the agent, says, hey, I know you guys have this house listed right now for $350,000, but it's not selling. I would like to offer $260,000. And the agent, what did the agent say, Eric? The agent said, ha, 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 no. Okay, so wholesalers, by the way, if you guys are a wholesaler, go and find my students, because my students like Munif are trained by me in our Subto community. If you guys want to join the Subto community, link down below. Wholesaler then goes, all right, I need to go get some expert help. So he goes to Munif. Okay, Munif, by joining our program, Subto, he was able to quit his engineering job. He got married, having kids, doing deals all over the country. I'll probably do 2-3 deals a month with Munif. He's unbelievable. Love Munif. And Munif goes, oh, I know who's a buyer for this deal. It's Pace. So why do I give this information to you guys for free? Well, because Pace wants to buy real estate, okay? Namely, Subto and seller finance deals, okay? So what happens is, Munif says, no problem, wholesaler, I can help you, but I can only pay you like $1,000, maybe $2,000, and then you kind of just need to get out of my way, so me, Munif, can go and talk to the agent directly and get a Subto deal done, because it's obvious that the wholesaler doesn't know subject to or seller finance, or the wholesaler would have done it themselves. So they get paid by taking a dead lead. This lead was dead. The agent said, ha ha, no, no, no. Wholesaler, instead of throwing the lead in the trash, goes to Munif and says, help me, please help me. Munif says, no problem. I'll pay you a couple $1,000s as a referral fee, but I'm gonna lock this deal up and I'm gonna then sell it to my buyer, Pace Morby, the guy who trained me on subject to. So when people ask me, why are you always teaching people? Well, guys, the more Munifs I have, the more deals I get to buy. That's how this works. So Munif goes, gets the deal under contract. The seller receives $0. The agent receives $5,000. The agent or the wholesaler, I believe, received $2,000. And then Munif receives $13,000. Okay? So the guy who put the deal together that knows the most was able to avoid having to go and find the lead, didn't have to have a license. Boom, here you go, right here. The guy who doesn't have a license and the guy who didn't have to find the lead is the one that made the most money because they understand creative finance. Pretty magical. Okay? Now because I trained Munif's in my community, I didn't have to do any of that. That's the great thing. I did that for years and years, and I perfected the strategy of creative finance, taught thousands of people like Munif all over the country, and now I buy deals all over the country. So what am I gonna do with this property? Well, what I'm gonna do with the property is I'm gonna take it, I just bought it subject to, $20,000 out of pocket. This actually is a deal that I rarely ever do this, but I'm actually using my own capital for this deal. I'm not borrowing money from private money lenders. Why? Well, because, hey Carter, thanks for the marker, by the way. You're the man. So Carter is Derek Barton's son, one of my students. They're hanging out inside. We had to break into this house today, and we'll show you that in a little bit. So why am I using $20,000 when I'm always telling people I don't really ever use my own money? 99% of the time, that is true. I don't use my money. I use other private money lenders' money. But this deal is going to be a break-even deal, okay? The payment that I took over from the seller has a mortgage attached to the house, okay? I'm taking over that mortgage. The deed is going in my name. I am now gonna be the owner, and the mortgage stays in the seller's name long-term. By the way, this is one of the reasons why you don't live in Arizona, okay? We have bug catchers, and they catch scorpions. Oh, there's a whole, look at all these scorpions, dude. Dang, son. Dang, son. All right, so I used my own $20,000, which is actually pretty rare to do this. But what's cool about this is that I bought the property for $350,000, and I'm all in $20,000. Actually, no, I won't be. I think I'll be all in about $30,000. Because I'll tell you where the other 10 grand is gonna go in a little bit. So I'm gonna be all into this deal about 9% of the purchase price, which is really, really, really good. My goal is typically to be at 10% of the purchase price all in on every deal that I do. So my payment that I just took over, $1,978 per month. Problem is, I can only rent this property out for $2,100 per month. So if I can rent it out for $2,100 and I currently have a payment at $1,978, Eric, why would I buy this deal?
Not Cashflow. Well,
here, let's go ask the team. Come on, let's ask Derek. Test, question. You're on YouTube right now.
Cool.
Okay. This is Derek Barton, my only professional baseball playing friend.
Barton skies one down the right field line. That baby's gone. 7-4.
So far. I might make a couple more in my life. If this deal is a non-cash flowing deal, so the payment is $1,978, don't worry about the payment.
Okay.
My rent rate is $2,100. So with like a little bit of buffer for vacancy and repairs, at the end of the day, I'm gonna basically break even on this deal. So why would I buy a property that I'm gonna break even on?
With the income that you make, you can use it as depreciation.
Depreciation. So what would be my tax benefit? I bought the property, our sales price is like $350 basically, right? There's Allison, everybody, our transaction coordinator. She runs the team, she's unbelievable. And there's Hannah, we had her break the glass open, which was pretty cool to watch. Hey, come break this glass.
Hey, Munif says the agent has the keys.
Where is the agent? I will come down here one time in my life, and this is the time. So all you have to do is take this brick and come like this and throw it like right about here. Oh! Wow. Oh, that's only one pane. Boom. Awesome. Wholesalers would be like, hey, this house is move-in ready. She couldn't break 2 panes of glass. We had to get Derek involved. It was pretty cool. Okay, so $350,000 is what the purchase price is. I'm gonna get $12,700. Okay, great, times 7. I will get in my first year of owning the property $89,000 in tax benefits. $89,000. So let's say at my tax bracket of 40%, $35,000. This property will let me avoid paying Uncle Sam $35,000 this year. When you think about it and you divide that by, let's say 36 months, that's actually $1,282 per month in tax savings for the next 3 years on this property. So do I really care that I'm cash flowing on the property, or do I care that I'm saving $1,282 a month in real taxes? Which means, let's say that we get a $10,000 wholesale fee, or I do a gator deal and I make 10 grand on it. I would normally have to pay $4,000 of that money to the IRS, but because I own this property will let me do those types of deals tax-free because of the offset this property gives. So what's another reason why I would buy this property?
Well, mortgage pay down, right? You're building equity.
Mortgage pay down, okay. So you got number one. We got number one is cash flow is basically zero, so we don't care about cash flow. Cash flow is okay. The next thing you said was depreciation. This property will give us $1,289 a month in tax benefits for the next 3 years. Then you said pay down. Great answer, Derek. So who's going to pay down this mortgage for me?
The tenant.
The tenant. Okay, Molly tenant. Okay, so the tenant is going to pay down the debt for me. So I took over the debt from the existing seller or the previous seller, and the tenant will pay down the mortgage for us, which is cool. What's another reason why I would buy this property?
Leverage.
Leverage. Gosh dang, Derek, it's like you're smart about this stuff. Okay, so leverage, what does that mean to you?
You can leverage it when purchasing other assets.
Gosh dang, dude, you're on it.
I got a good teacher.
You do?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so you got leverage, which means as this mortgage pays down, and then also as the property goes up in value, that's the other reason we buy is appreciation. This property will go up in value and the mortgage will pay down. I will create what we call a delta. Remember that word, guys. The reason why you want to hold property for a long time is because of the delta. Okay, so this property, let's say in 5 years is worth, could you believe that this house in probably 5 to 7 years will be worth $500,000? Crazy. Is that crazy to think? This will be a $500,000 house in 7 years.
It's growing out here fast.
Crazy. I remember back in like 2012, this house probably would have been like 165, maybe 215 on the very high end. And we just bought it for 350 without batting an eye. Houses in Santan will be worth $500,000. So as this property goes up in value and the tenants pay down the mortgage, we'll create a delta. And that delta is what we would call or consider equity, right? And there's a lot of things you can do with equity. So this is why you buy a deal like this. You would buy a deal that breaks even for all of these reasons. And this is where people that lack patience will go, oh, it doesn't cash flow. And for somebody like me, I go, I'll buy that with cash. I'll buy that without cash flow because of all the other benefits. So Munif got paid, a wholesaler got a little bit of money, agent got paid, seller got nothing, closing costs, and then $3,000 or $4,000 on the inside. This is about as easy of a rental as you can even imagine. Here's the other reason why you buy properties that break even, is because how often do you think the rental rent rate goes up in Santan, Gilbert, Queen Creek? Every 2 to 3 years probably?
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll own this in our portfolio, and the property will probably raise the rents from $2,100 to $2,300 in 2, maybe 3 years at the most. And then at that point, we'll have a couple $100. And then one thing that I heard Cody Sanchez say one time, she's like, yeah, my real estate friends are bragging about, they go and buy real estate, and that real estate cash flows them $400. But how much money did they have to put into that property, and how much credit? Well, first and foremost, I didn't have to put any credit in here. This is my first time. Allison knew more about. Did you do the TC work on this one?
Love did it because it was Mooney's,
Oh,
but
got it.
I kind of over.
Okay, so I've got an amazing team. I didn't know the address. I called Molly this morning. I said, do we have any empty houses that I can go and do a YouTube video on? And she said, yeah, we actually have 3. So Allison met me here. She brought a lockbox. And this is the first time seeing it. And this is the first time that I'm coming up with a game plan. And honestly, I probably don't even need to be involved at all. And Molly and you and Heidi will all make a decision on what to do here. So the advantage is that I buy real estate. I don't use any of my own credit. I will use my own cash on this deal because it's such a small amount. But this property, the longer I own it, my debt stays the same. This is where Cody Sanchez or other people just don't understand real estate, is that my debt will stay the same for 30 years. And how many times do you think over 30 years, this rent rate will go up? So although my debt, my PITI, my mortgage payment, stays exactly the same, my payment or my rent rate will go from $2,100 to $2,300, then $2,300 to $2,600, $2,600 to $2,900. Then at some point in the next 15 years, somebody will be renting this property for $3,500 a month, but my payment will stay the same. And so nothing changes for us. We have these unbelievable little pods of just vacuums of money. This will bring in, it will suck money into our company. Sometimes you just got to be a little bit patient while that seed starts to germinate and get through the soil. And that's one of these deals. This is a seed that we're planting that won't produce any real fruit for probably 24 months, besides the tax benefits and all of those things. So a lot of people that will say, Pace, would you buy a non-cash flowing deal? The answer is yes, I would. But if you're barely starting and this is your first deal you get to look at, what I would do is I would say, I should assign this deal. Do you know how much money Munif made on this? I think he made 13 grand. I think he did. So in a lot of ways, if you're brand new and you're in the business for a couple of years, then just assign the Subto deal, make $13,000 on it, and you don't have to worry about having to hold the property, deal with breaking into the property and coming up with a game plan and making a decision. Also, quick tip for anybody that's still watching. I know sometimes my YouTube videos can go long. One thing that I used to do wrong is I would go into a house like this and I would go, let's paint it. Let's do all new floor. Let's do everything brand new. But dude, literally just fixing the glass and the linoleum, this property is, we probably have already overdone it. Except for the glass. We should definitely do the glass. What do we have for them? Anything cool that we've come up with recently? Oh, something that we just did recently last week is we just released a training on how to buy cars with creative finance. So cars, trucks, whatever. And if you click in the link down below, my team will give you a training I did with Sean St. Clair. In fact, I just got the invoice for this. Check this out. You guys just don't even appreciate, you YouTubers, you guys just don't appreciate it. Here you go. I just got an invoice today from Sean St. Clair. My invoice is $4,085 before my last month's overpayment. So I owe him $3,500 right now. And what is that? What is he billing me for? He's billing me for updated contracts that I give my Subto community. He's billing me for Zooms that he does. So the Zoom that we did that we want to give away to you, that cost 3 different hours, so probably about $1,400. So a $1,400 training it cost me to have my attorney come in and walk through paperwork on how to buy and sell cars with creative finance. Link in the description down below. And Eric would be really mad at me if I forgot to tell you that 80% of our viewers, we have 4 million views a month on our YouTube channel, and 80% of you guys are not subscribing. So do us a favor, show my team some love, let them know that they're doing a great job, and hit the subscribe button. And that's how we know you guys love us and appreciate us. And we'll keep making videos for you and hopefully help you guys break down and demystify what creative finance is all about. We'll see you in the next video.